First official day for the Stock Index Portfolio 24. Let's go over the results here. Up on the day, 5650 live on the 250K, up 1,075 on the 50K, and our live drawdown is much less, about $10,000 less than the hypothetical. We're close to equity peaks in live trading on the year. Month to date, we're up on the year as well. So good results today. Market sold off pretty good going into Jobs Friday. Chop, yesterday we saw that rally. I thought that was a head fake type rally that continued into the open, and then it rallied, chop, sold off. Pretty big range today. We don't typically see such a good opportunity on the short side. The market sold into the close. There was some propping around 12,000 in the Nasdaq. You can even see that in the pattern. It just looks funny. Kind of a low IQ trade, in my opinion, to try to just support a whole number like 12,000. Sometimes it works. Psychology is a big factor. So trading levels sometimes work, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't found a net profitable way to buy a level and make it work, because if the market is selling off, that number just represents the index, and it doesn't necessarily represent the fundamentals or the reason why it's selling in the first place. But sometimes it can bounce at those numbers, and so lots of chop right there and turbulence as the market sold off, and then tried to bounce at the end of the day at the 12,000 level. And so, like we said, that rally yesterday was we didn't like that rally yesterday. We thought that was a head fake. We thought that was a ripoff for our shorts, and turns out that continued, but then it rolled over. And so some true pricing was realized as we go into Jobs Friday. The dip buyers didn't want to have much to do with the market today, as Jobs Friday is tomorrow. If the number is good employment, then that is bearish, because then the Fed will continue to raise rates. It's inflationary. Good jobs report continues to be inflationary. And so let's go over the trades on the day. These are the Nasdaq strategies. Tick count trend. Took a short trade. I wish we would have had more strategies. Trade today. It's when you have a market that postures higher, kind of sets up a trend to the upside, and then rolls over to the downside. You don't really get as many positions going in one direction. And so if you look at that, what the potential closing price was yesterday, right around here, before this head fake higher, it kind of traded about the same on both sides on the Nasdaq. So right here at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, market rallies there's about a 200-point rally from here, and then it rolled over to about 200 points lower from there. So it kind of traded about 200 points on both sides of this 3:30 p.m. Price yesterday on the Nasdaq. And there was not a lot of, on the sell-off, there wasn't a lot of rally back. So it's kind of a smooth sell-off. A lot of our short strategies, short rallies. And so tick reversal didn't get short today. So there wasn't enough of a rally back. It was a smooth sell-off. Cobra 3 captured the short trade and got out at its normal exit time right as the market was rallying some. So these cycles for exits at different times, sometimes those cycles go for us. Sometimes that's the worst part of the cycle. And so, in this case, the market tried to rally again at around the same time it did yesterday. And so still a good trade on the day. Tick Pulse was the biggest winner on the day, taking the short trade up 2,600. And then Robot had a nice trade going early, rolled over, stopped out. This risks such a small amount. And so tick reversal took the long trade, minus 1740 there. Did not take a short trade. And then the S&P, this has a lot of our chop strategies. Cobra 3 got the short trade today, plus 1,075. Tick Fader hit his profit target right there, plus 375. A lot of reversing between longs and shorts at the open with these strategies. Really nice trade on opening chop. You see some good back and forth right here. Long, short, long, short. Would have been great to have had these shorts get in at higher points, but still a profitable trade on the day, up about $9.50 per contract. And this opening chop got long, got out at its exit time right here. These were around break even. And then tick count trend turnaround dynamic, got the short trade on the day, plus 775. And so good trading on the strategies today. And I have this in multi-charts as well. I want to show you that. So here is the setup in multi-charts for the Nasdaq. You can see the same strategies and workspace setup. And then for the S&P, you can see the same strategies and workspace setup. It looks a little different. And I'll have these set up in the portfolio trader as well, and we can take a look at the results of that. Right now I have the portfolio calculator from Excel. So this is what we're looking at, these chopper strategies. If you look at them individually, I'm going to make a video about each of those as we go forward. But there's an acceleration since 2022 of more chop. And so maybe we'll get more chop. Maybe we won't have, last year with the 2022, some big trends in 2021 and 2022 and 2020. Maybe we'll get more mean reversion trades. But we're here to capture both types of market conditions if they happen. And so if the market chops more, we'll be syncing up with more choppy strategies, making trades in a market that maybe doesn't move it has a net gain or loss, but we will take the trades like we are on opening chop. And so before 2014, I set this data up so that it only goes back to September 2014, because prior to September 14, the drawdown is bigger, but we are biasing our strategies to recent data, almost 9 years of recent data, 8.5, I guess. And so these are the results. I sent these out if you have a subscription, and I will put this in Portfolio Trader as well. I'm going to be going over a lot of these strategies. I'll go over in multi-chart. Some of these are new. And so here is opening chop. And I released an opening chop strategy. I added one rule to the opening chop strategy that I put on YouTube. And with slippage and commission, these are the results going back to 2022. Really nice results. Average trade profit is higher, is pretty high, 112 with slippage and commission. And then on this strategy, opening chop 2, let's look at that. View strategy performance report and pull it into this window here. Average trade profit is 259. It trades less, and it's another variation of opening chop. A little more selective, 52,850. Here's a drawdown curve. Doesn't trade as much, but if you look at some of these before these time periods of 2022, the equity curve might be down. So this is more recent. Some of these are sideways, and then they ramp up in 2022, or they're down a little bit, and then in 2022 they go higher. And before 22, some of them go straight down, and in 2022 they're up, and they're not even at net highs over the last 12 years. And so there is a bias since 2022 for more choppy conditions, and these strategies are very simple strategies. Like I said, I released the open code for opening chop on YouTube and added just one simple rule to it. And then opening chop 2 is a variation of that. Tick chop uses the NYSE tick. Simple strategy as well. Not many rules on these strategies. And you can see the results here. Adaptive moving average. This is the 1-minute version of our adaptive moving average, skipping the first hour of trade. And you can see this tests well. This is a long back test. This only goes back to 2022, but if you test it back further, it has a very good long back test. Average trade profit is a little smaller, takes a lot of trades, and you can see today it captured the move pretty well. Let's take a look at that. Really nice trade. We considered adding this one, but it increased our drawdown, so we didn't, but really does well. It's just the basic adaptive moving average, skipping the first hour because the first hour can be choppy, and this looks to capture the trend. And so something to consider if you're developing strategies: do skip the first hour if you're trying to capture a trend. And that is the bias right now. I anticipate that will change in the future, and so we have to keep an eye on that bias and potentially look at strategies that chop at the end of the day, that trend. We have strategies that can capture the trend at the beginning of the day. Now we have to keep those for diversity, and then potentially add strategies that chop at the end or the middle of the day as well as we find those. And so here is tick count trend turnaround dynamic, and really good results there. Nice average trade profit, $94, And we had added robot. One of the reasons we added robot is because we have a lot of additional chop strategies that we added at the beginning of the day, and robot can take advantage of that beginning of the day trend, so we have diversity there. Now these three strategies, I'm not going to go over those. These I'm still working on, but I do have a basic setup. This is the news version of this. This is the news version of that, news version of that. These trade on Mondays and on FOMC minutes, CPI dates, and so still working on a more exhaustive setup for these. Haven't added them to the portfolio. They're included in the portfolio calculator, but I'm not ready to trade those yet. So I focused on, these are mainly the new ones. This is an existing one on 1 minute, and so those are the new strategies. This is the new portfolio stock index 24, and these are the final trades on the day. Pre-Jobs Friday, March the 9th, 2023. We have rollover on Monday, so make sure you roll over your contracts this weekend from March to June. I had mentioned that maybe I thought today was rollover, but it's not. And so we're still trading March contracts until Monday, and then Monday we start trading the June contract month for stock index futures. Hey, David Bean here. Welcome to Capstone Trading Systems YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to join our community of algorithmic traders. We are real money traders. We share our winning streaks, we share our losing streaks, as well as market updates, strategies, and coding tips.